In the area now called South Britain, people thousands of years ago lived in close relationship with the land. They shaped the land, but they also let the land shape them. They understood that the materials beneath their feet, the chalk, the clay, the flint, the stone, worked with them. When we say ancient people didn't write, that didn't mean they lacked complexity. They just used different systems, ones that didn't rely on markers on stones or paper, but on action, place, and repetition. Memory technology built into the rhythms of walking, gathering, building, meeting, storytelling. One of the most powerful ways to store knowledge in non-literate cultures is to repeat actions in the same place, at the same time, in the same way. That is what ceremony is. That is what a seasonal walk is. Over generations, repeated movements become anchored in the body and in the land. Imagine walking a route every solstice, from the long barrow, the burial site of your ancestors, into the stone circle, and then gathering at the great mound of Salisbury. You do it every year. Your children do it every year. Their children do it every year. And along the way, elders tell the same stories, point out the same stones, explain the meaning of the ditch, the stream, the turning of the sun. The landscape becomes the map of memory, not metaphorically, but literally. You learn what you need to know about the world by moving through it. In Australia, Aboriginal songlines encode thousands of kilometres of landscape through song narratives. Each place on the land links to a verse, it's a story, and it's a teaching. Andean sect lines radiate from the Incan center of Cusco, which was the Incas' center of the universe. They mark sacred places with ritual function. People moved along them to perform ceremonies and maintain social memory. Britain had the same kind of memory system. The markers were mounds, stone circles, even springs. On flat or shifting landscapes, people need fixed points. Glastonbury Tor is one. Weary-all Hill is another. These hills were visible from afar. They told you where you were, but more than that, they told you who you were. A child born in a marshy village might first learn the stories of their people through walking up the Tor. This is where the spring comes from stone. This is where our grandmothers gathered. This is the path we take when the water rises. Each prominent place stores narrative. Each round stone was a sentence. When oral culture is tied to a place, you can't forget your history because you walk through it every time you go to fetch water or climb the hill. Memory wasn't everyone's equal burden. In many cultures, certain people held specific knowledge. Your elders, your herbalists, your walkers, your singers, people who remembered. At Avebury, you might have needed permission to enter the center of the circle, but not because of hierarchy in the modern sense, but because you had to know enough to move through the space correctly, like how only trained initiates into Indigenous Australian Aboriginal songs are taught the deeper layers of the songlines. Ancient people stored knowledge in the roots, the repetition, and the places. Structures like Salisbury Hill are tools of memory transmission. This system was as complex and effective as written language. It's just based on different principles. Let me know in the comments whether you'd like to see next the different kinds of memory markers, or the role of water and direction in memory practice. Or we could look at other systems, Aboriginal songlines, or colonial disruption. How did Christianity and enclosures break these systems? Whichever thread you want to tug.